Hello and welcome to This Artworks, Lichfield Radio's weekly arts and culture podcast, where we invite people who are involved in the world of arts and culture into the studio to tell us a little bit about their lives and what they do for a living. And this week we are joined by the delightful Cathy Lamb. I'm so pleased you could come in.
Thank you for asking me.
Cathy is a organist, a conductor,
Yep,
an animateur.
yes.
I had to look up what that meant.
It's a bit of a random word.
And a teacher.
Yep,
And she's also my next door neighbour. So this is lovely.
it's perfect, isn't it?
Absolutely. So, Cathy, what does the word animateur mean?
It's a little bit random. As far as I understand it, because I've sort of inherited it, I'm meant to animate children or people to sing, basically. So that's my title.
Well, we were talking, weren't we, before we started filming about the fact that during the pandemic, I joined one of your choirs.
You did?
And because, of course, we had to be 6 feet away from absolutely everybody, we ended up standing around Stowe Pool singing.
You did.
Now, ordinarily, I'd have been, I'm not standing outside singing because I can't sing. I cannot sing at all.
I don't believe that.
I genuinely can't hold a tune in a bucket. But the fact that you were so full of joy for your craft made me lose any sense of being self-conscious, and that's a talent.
Well, hopefully. I mean, it's something I do lots of, so, it's kind of... I that was such a weird time. I mean, we were absolutely slammed as singers and choral animateurs.
Really?
Because, obviously, singing was a bad thing at the time.
Yeah.
And so it was so exhilarating just to be able to get people together and sing again. But I have to say it was very hard work because I don't think there was a single time that it didn't rain when we were doing those rehearsals. So we're literally going from my children's choir, my youth choir, we got them all outside. We had to have like dots. Do you remember we had dots? I put you on physical dots. I had a tent. I felt a bit bad because I did have a tiny, tiny wee little marquee that I used to put up weekly. Although half the time we got blown away. And then I was under there because, of course, I had my keyboard. But that had to have its own battery pack. I mean, it was just, the amount of batteries we got through.
I remember we carried equipment.
You did. You helped me do all of that. I mean, it was horrendous, to be perfectly honest, looking back. And, of course, we also had people who didn't turn out, even physically with the social distancing.
Yeah.
So we literally I had to Zoom. I think I Zoomed in at the same time. So I had to have my laptop there, which was
right.
it was just,
yes.
I've got the films of it now. I mean, it's funny watching back some of it.
So what's your official title within the Cathedral School in Lichfield Cathedral?
Yes, it was a bit of a long-winded, funny title. So I basically do two jobs, if I'm completely honest. So I've got one aspect is I'm director of Music Share, which is the animateur stuff. So that's heading up this singing schools programme. And then I'm also head of music performance. So I'm a slightly unusual teacher and head of music because we have a head of curriculum music, a wonderful lady called Kate Hodgkiss, who in fact was one of my choristers
Really?
So it's how to make you feel old, isn't it? My boss is now someone I taught. And so I'm head of performance because obviously we're a musical school, cathedral school, and we do about 70 concerts a year, which is frankly insane because we're a day school. And we're definitely with a small department, really, in comparison to a lot of big public schools, for example. We are very much punching above our weight, so it's great. So I can focus on scholars, ensembles, concerts. So I do all of that, all the logistics, and then
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a big old job, and I love it. I'm really lucky.
Never a dull moment, eh?
Never, ever.
Well, something as well that I didn't know about you, and I think, why didn't I know about you? You're an organist.
Yeah, so that was really my roots, to be honest.
Yeah.
I really honestly thought that was going to be my career path. So I was quite a serious pianist when I was younger, and then I accidentally fell into the organ. So my grandma was a Methodist organist.
Really?
So her piano ended up in my house, and I used to plonk away, and then I had piano lessons, and that sort of took off. And I did violin, I did clarinet, I did lots of things.
Gosh.
So I was quite into music. To be honest, it was obvious that music was going to be the thing. And then when I was I must have been only about 12 or 13, I come from quite a big scouting family. Yeah. And so we were at a scout service, and my scout leader was playing the organ in this beautiful little village church. And my dad, sort of unbeknownst to me really, because I didn't really know that my grandma had been she was a Methodist organist for, I think, over 60 years. And anyway, Dad got chatting because it turns out Dad was really interested in organs and knew lots about them and all that sort of things. and said to my scout leader, and my scout leader said, actually, I'm about to leave another church in Welwyn Garden, which is where I'm from Hertfordshire, to basically come and be organist here in this beautiful little village church. And he said, I don't think they'll get anybody. And my dad went, oh, Cathy will do it. So I was volunteered at the age of 12 to go and be organist at this local church. And what was random was it was a tiny organ. It had 5 stops and a pedal board, so which is a very small organ. It was the same age as me. It was a make, and it was 1983. And basically, so I played this organ, and I thought better have some lessons. Had some lessons, and that was that really. So then I became quite a serious organist, and I sort of I've wended this weird pathway away from it a little bit, but so. But
what a talent to have, because when I see people playing the organ professionally, it's beyond that, isn't it? Well, you have to, because you've got one hand doing that, and then your feet are doing something completely different underneath.
Yeah.
And then you have all the stops and everything else.
That's kind of what I like about it.
Really?
Yeah, because I think with the piano, I'm perfectly good at the piano, but there's so much in terms of, weighting the finger here and bringing out the melody here. And there's a huge span, and you're having to do lots of things and fast fingers. And I'm not saying the organ doesn't require fast fingers and things, but it requires a completely different technicality. And therefore, what I love about it is actually this sort of mechanical side to things.
Really?
I was just saying to my Ladies Who Lark choir this morning, because I think I see things visually, because on the piano, you think a lot about the sort of the attack and how you're playing in, and you can make things louder by playing the keys harder and that kind of thing. On the organ, you can't do that. Right. So you have to pull out more stops to make it louder.
Oh, I see.
Or you have to lift the note before the note you want to make louder.
What does that mean?
To create an accent. So
lifting the note.
Lifting the note. So basically, literally releasing a note. So if I'm just trying to think of like that. Da. Can you hear that the second da is a bit louder?
Yes.
On the organ, that da is a bit louder because the first da was shorter. Da, da.
And is that simply because the air is going through the pipes?
No, it's just how you lift and you create the silence that enables the accent to happen.
Good God, it's even more complicated.
There's loads of
imagine.
I find that fascinating. So it's how you sort of start and stop a note that's really important, as well as everything else. So there's lots to learn about the organ, which is.
Yeah, I can imagine it's a lifetime study with an instrument that complicated.
Absolutely. I have to say, I went and played, I haven't done much foreign playing, but I've done a study course in Holland and a study course in France, and they're completely different styles of organ. So
really?
Yeah, completely different. So I really struggle, like trying to play something on a French organ. It's a whole different world. And so obviously I've played a lot of amazing organs in this country, but everyone is different.
And what's Lichfield Cathedral organ like?
Epic.
Really?
It's really epic. So Lichfield, to be honest, would be one of the finest organs in the country, if not the world.
Gosh.
If we had a much more resonant acoustic. So Lichfield Cathedral is actually quite a dry building.
Right.
So if Lichfield Cathedral organ, for example, was in King's College, Cambridge, I think it would be a very famous instrument, because another part of the sound is having that resonance.
Yeah.
Which we don't really have in Lichfield, but it is a very, very fine instrument. So
I remember being in Lichfield Cathedral in the nave a couple of years ago, and somebody was playing Toccata and Fugue. It could have been you. Was it you?
Might have been.
Oh, I bet it was you. And I have never seen 100 people so immediately stopped in their tracks. They were just, that was it, and it's like being in a wind tunnel. The sound that organ can make.
Yeah,
it's the most extraordinary thing. Absolutely, it's like nothing else.
My happiest, one of my happiest memories, there's a very famous piece called God Is With Us by Taverner. And it's pretty much entirely unaccompanied, apart from when there's a big climax and the choir sort of do this huge build-up. They say, God is here, or God is with us.
I think I know it.
Yeah. And the organ comes in and no one knows that it's going to happen. And I was at the back of the congregation. I suddenly thought, I remember what's about to happen. And I just enjoyed, literally, this person about 2 rows in front of me stood up in the middle of this service. What was that? And it was amazing. So that was really brilliant. And that's the kind of impact you want to have.
Oh, I think that's the power of music, because music is the only art form that, quite frankly, can bring me to tears. very easily, a choral piece or a symphonic piece or toccata and fugue or whatever. I mean, I would sit there and just tears, can't stop it.
Weep.
Yeah. The most extraordinary thing. And is it perhaps because the beauty of music goes straight in? There's no bypassing of the intellect. It just all sort of goes
That's
straight
a very good idea.
in.
Yeah, straight to the emotions, isn't it? And as you said about the organ, it's like that wind tunnel effect is the vibration of it as well as everything else. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a huge amount of scientific studies and why it affects. But yeah, it hits you right there, doesn't it?
It genuinely does. You can feel it in the old solar plexus. Yeah. It was an extraordinary experience.
If I'm in a bad mood, I just put on some happy music. Sorts me out, basically.
Yeah,
and
I
vice
do the
versa.
same.
If I want to feel miserable.
Radiohead.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Now I'm thinking Goretzky. Do you know Goretzky's Symphony of Sorrow?
I don't.
It's beautiful. It's very sorrowful songs, and they just make me cry. Yeah.
I was listening to Bach's The Allegretto in Symphony No. 7 today, and that piece makes the old lip wobble. And I don't know why, but there's something in it that talks about, I don't know, the bittersweet nature of being alive. And I am in awe of musicians because, I played a bit of violin at school, but I was terrible.
I was bad at the violin, to be perfectly honest. It wasn't my instrument.
I've never got my resin either. Never got my resin. Have you got your resin? No, never had my resin. But yeah, there is something about music that is... I wonder whether it is the purest art form, music. I suspect it probably is.
I think what I like about it as well is that actually, what affects you won't affect me and vice versa. And everybody has different music that, affects them and that makes them feel happy or sad. And I think that's so important, actually, just different culture. I mean, there's just so much. We're never going to hear every piece of music. We're never going to know. No. I try to diversify a little bit. I listen to a whole very random mixture of stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's important.
No, it absolutely is. And I don't want you to to think that I sit at home listening to Beethoven or Bach and weeping. I really don't. I listen to Radiohead and weep sometimes as well. Yeah. So you won a very prestigious award recently, didn't
Completely by accident, I'm sure.
No chance. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so basically it was a very good friend and colleague, actually, who frankly, in my opinion, deserves the award more than me. But nominated, so you can nominate for its Classic FM Teacher of the Year award.
Wow.
And there were 6 categories this year. And I think for the first time there was Education Initiative of the Year award. And of the 6 awards, we were the only one that was voted for. So everything else was done by judges.
Yeah.
And so, I was really lucky. I think lots of my friends must have voted for me. So, we
very
won.
deserved, I'm sure.
Well, I'm really pleased. And the sad thing was, actually, the Classica, and bless them, didn't share I had a small chat with Dan Walker. And they shared 2 other colleagues who absolutely deserved to have their chats to aired. But the thing that was really sad was I didn't get to say this is a massive team effort. Yeah. I mean, I'm a figurehead for Music Share, but it massively is a big team. I have amazing volunteers who literally worked with me for nearly 20 years.
Wow.
I've got amazing people. So Jenny Mason was the lady who she was she's been instrumental locally in music for years, music education. And she's been a real mentor for me. So and then we're a big partnership. So the Music Partnership is the local music education hub, and it's them who give us the funding via Arts Council, via Department for Education. So, and then obviously we've got the Cathedral who gives us the building to be able to do these marvellous concerts, and the school who kind of basically are the infrastructure.
I see that's how it all fits together.
It's a 3-cornered hat.
Yeah.
So I'm really lucky. So yes, I was thrilled to get the award, but I'm thrilled for Music Share really because, as I say, it's a big partnership and a big team. So
yeah. And I think Mylene Class presented you with your
award.
She did.
Yes, she did.
Wow.
Yes, she was very elegant.
She looks very tall.
She was very tall, but very, very slender as well. So I kind of, I was quite glad I wore baggy clothes, to be perfectly honest.
That's not fair, is it? Go and stand over behind a tree, Mylene Class.
Dan Walker making me feel small and Mylene Class making
Somebody bring me a box.
So, no, it was lovely. It was a lovely evening.
So do you think music is good for you?
Yes, without a doubt. I have to say, so I run all these choirs. Today has been my mega choirs day. So I literally go from mini voices to Ladies Who Lark to my young singing leaders. I've had young voices and I've just finished Ukrainian voices today.
Brilliant.
And every single one of them, I can see the benefit it has on people's well-being, without a doubt. Singing in particular.
Yes.
Because there's lots of, again, scientific evidence to show that when many people sing together, it releases endorphins. It's one of the only things that actually lights up your whole neurological pathways.
Really?
Yeah, singing. So that's why it's so good for us. And,
it appears to be sort of physically good exercise as well.
Oh, massively. And, people who've got lung issues, all those kind of things, obviously you've got to be careful.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of those things. There's been a massive study recently, which I'm really pleased about actually. So for women who've got postnatal depression, they've started doing singing groups for specifically actually for them, so them with their babies, but actually
what a great
on
idea.
them. And of course, actually, that is what I'm doing every week. We have our mini voices session, which is actually run by a wonderful colleague, but I'm there. I can just see how beneficial it is,
Yeah.
A, for the development of the kids, but for the well-being of the adults that are there. So
I have a couple of friends who I think are part of some of your choirs, and they always say that it is almost the highlight of the week, that they come out floating, as you say, on all these wonderful endorphins and dopamine and everything that you get produced when you create art like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we are getting to the portion of the interview
I'm excited.
when I ask you to bring the thing. Cathy Lamb, what is your thing?
My thing. I'm quite excited. So I'm going to try and show it to the camera. This is a brochure for Mr. Turner Comes to Literature. I'm trying to think how old this is
2017,
now.
I think.
Was it as long ago as that? So as Josh said, we are neighbours, which is very cool. So my husband, which I can mention, kind of is the director of music at Litchfield Cathedral. So I'm afraid we're completely intertwined. Our whole working life is dominated by Litchfield. And this was really a happy moment because obviously you're our neighbours and we knew Carl was a wonderful artist. So Josh's husband is a wonderful artist.
We've just interviewed him.
Yay! Watch that interview. And so basically there was this exhibition at the time. So many of you will know that we have a statue of St. Chad, which was commissioned and created by the wonderful Peter Walker, who is a local artist, has done the light shows and lots of things. And he created one of the things was, I think, this competition. And this competition was a photography and a painting competition, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So all the works were put on display. Yeah. And Ben and I kind of both came home one day and I went, have you seen Carl's painting? Have you seen Carl's painting? And he said, yes, I love it. And I think, a bit like I'm saying about music, I think art is very, objective, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something that I might like, someone won't like, and
absolutely.
all of those things. And I think it's actually quite hard to find something that, particularly husband and wife want to hang on the wall. And so I was like, oh, Ben, I love it. And I'd already bumped into Carl and said, Carl, give me a price. And Carl being Carl, wasn't going to give me any inkling whatsoever. And Ben had also done the same. And then it sort of went quiet. And then obviously he won the competition. And this beautiful painting ended up as a print in the cathedral shop.
Yep.
And so I came home, running home, I think this was about June time, going, oh, there's a print in the shop, there's a print, can I get a print, Ben? And my husband just went, no, wait, it'll be on sale at some point. I was like, it won't be on sale, they'll have gone, what are you talking about? Come on. And then I could see in his face, he was just like, be quiet. And I thought, oh, it's my birthday soon. And I thought, he's got me a print, lovely, kind of thing. And then, of course, on my birthday, out came the real deal. Yeah. So I'm really delighted to have it. And then Ben sort of then looked at me and said, I might have commissioned a second one. I was like, what are you doing? So
thank you.
But I think we've now got 4, haven't we?
Yes, you have. Yes.
And what was lovely about it is I kind of thought it might just open up a conversation on the creative arts as a whole. And we've become completely accidental art collectors, because obviously we've got these wonderful paintings, and I just do love them. I just love the light sources in that's the thing that grabs me. It's absolutely near the colours for me of the cathedral, and the light in that kind of, early to late evening, and that just,
because it changes, doesn't it? The cathedral
absolutely changes, and that glow that you just can't explain of that colour. But the lovely thing was, we'd got a few things over the years. Most of the prints on my wall, I mean, I've just been blessed, really. I think it's very easy to take it for granted. And I've literally gone from, I ended up, for sixth form, I went to Uppingham School, which I'd been a state school girl all my life, and ended up there, and the buildings there are beautiful. I then went from there to Salisbury Cathedral as an organ scholar. So again, I had Salisbury on my doorstep. And then I ended up at Cambridge. So again, all the architecture at Cambridge. And then I ended up at Wells Cathedral. So again, and then I've ended up here, and it's really easy to forget. Oh, no, I mustn't forget Christchurch Priory as well, which was another beautiful. I literally have worked in all these extraordinary places. And I have pictures of them all, and that's what's on the wall. And then to have something special that's actually been painted by someone we know so well. And then actually I have a wonderful colleague in school, Alex Nicholson Ward, who we have loads of his things now on our walls, and we have some Peter Walkers now.
Oh, do you?
We do. Yeah. So we've ended up, and this, Ben and I are musicians. This is, we don't really know what we're talking about. We know what we like. So.
But it is extraordinary how the cathedral seems to be a magnet for artistic and creative people, isn't it? That as you say, people like Peter Walker, and Paul
Spicer.
Paul Spicer, and we've had a scholar of Islamic literature as well.
Absolutely,
and it's a strange little, almost Bloomsbury group. A group of people who were all interested in perhaps quite esoteric stuff, but it's a melting pot.
We're remarkably normal, I think, don't you? I mean, we're quirky, but I think we're remarkably normal, actually.
Apart from the twitch, yes, we're fine, and the orange glasses, obviously, but we won't go there. But every day I'm struck by how beautiful this city is, and specifically the cathedral. The cathedral is jaw-droppingly beautiful. Although I do notice that the if I go away on holiday. When I go away at first, the cathedral shrunk a bit. And then when I come back, it's enormous again. Because you get so used to it, don't you? Living and working sort of in the close.
I would like to take a toothbrush to it. Because, of course, we've got that black country sort of...
Yeah, the soot.
Apparently, someone did try and do that, was it, in like the 30s or 40s?
Did it dissolve?
And it wasn't very good for
No.
it. So we definitely shouldn't be doing that.
We need a nice fluffy black casing on the outside to keep it in there.
Yeah, but it is. We're really lucky.
So you're a conductor as well, Cathy?
Yeah, I mean, I've never really trained in it.
But that's another thing that blows my mind, because you have to have the capacity to think in different time signatures, with different hands, don't you?
Yeah, I'm not brilliant at that, but yeah.
Well, you're better at it than I am, I can tell you. But that's another fascinating thing.
Yeah, the fun thing is that independence of, particularly conducting orchestras and that kind of thing. It's
what's it like almost being in the cockpit of an orchestra?
It's extraordinary. I have to say, one of my highlights was I'd always wanted to conduct the Verdi Requiem.
Wow.
And Ben conducts the Cathedral Chorus, but he let me steal a sort of sabbatical style term, and I was allowed to do Verdi Requiem, which is just the most enormous orchestra.
Yeah.
And I have to confess, I did rehearse the Dies Irae twice just because I wanted to have 3 goes at it rather than just the one in the rehearsal and the one in the concert. It is exhilarating being in control of that sort of
power.
And power.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm an organist, let's be honest.
Well, you're a power freak, my lovely.
I'm small but mighty.
I'm going to have T-shirts made with that, and I think that's a brilliant idea.
Small but mighty.
Absolutely.
No, it's awesome. And I'd like to do a lot of things, really. I'd love to have a little bit more training in the conducting, but I was at uni, and we did have some extraordinary conducting lessons, but we didn't have much time with any of the individual tutors, and they rather focused on the people who didn't know how to beat in 4/4, and I can beat in 4/4. So that was a shame, really. But Yeah, it's interesting. It's a craft in itself, and I definitely know I make it up as I go along a little bit.
Well, when you watch sort of different conductors, it always amazes me because you think, well, surely there's a set way of doing things. And then you watch different conductors and they're all different.
Yeah.
But it's a full body workout, isn't it, conducting?
Yeah,
I mean, some people obviously are waving their arms around their head and some people are more precise. But it's fascinating to watch. And if I'm not careful, if I'm listening to an orchestral piece, I end up watching the conductor rather than sort of listening to the music.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do, to be honest.
It's really intriguing. And the fact that music is its whole own world, with sort of writing, everybody to a certain extent can understand what happens when you write something. But when you're involved in music, it's so multi-layered, isn't it?
Yeah, and certainly being a music teacher, I mean, there's often these Facebook posts and things, what does it mean to be a music teacher? And you just have counsellor, psychologist, music, logistics, risk assessments, health and safety, this, and it's just, it is incredible how many different skills we have to have just to kind of do the one thing, the sort of public aspect of it, but it's great. I love it.
Well, I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? To do something you love is, I'm not going to use that terrible old quote, but to do something you love is an enormous blessing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm really lucky. Very much
as
so.
am I. Lucky devils, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we could be doing this. I'm having a lovely time. I'm
great.
basically just sitting here talking to my mates. It's great.
It's fantastic.
I'm going to put you slightly on the spot now. Mm-hmm. If somebody was to decide to listen to a piece of music tomorrow, a piece of orchestral music, what would you say?
Beethoven 7, slow movement.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah. That is probably one of my most favourite pieces. But I mean, I could go on.
Yeah.
Hundreds of pieces. But Beethoven 7 I just think it's so emotional as a piece of music. And actually I think it's quite accessible, generally speaking, for a lot of people. And it kind of builds and builds and builds. So yeah, definitely.
I'm definitely more of a Beethoven than a Mozart girl. I have to say.
Interesting.
Do you like Mozart?
I do like Mozart.
It's a bit twiddly.
A lot of people say that, but there are some much more intense bits. If you spoke to members of the Cathedral Choir, actually, in terms of the adult back row, and my husband, there's definitely it's a Mozart divide, shall we say. My husband absolutely adores Mozart.
Really?
Yeah, so Ben loves it. And
Fight.
I agree with him. I personally love Mozart. I think it's wonderful. Yeah. And there's some wonderful pieces, particularly piano music, repertoire, I think.
Well, I'm not going to diss the guy. He was obviously pretty good.
Oh,
but,
he's quite young, really.
Well, yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Very young, actually.
I'm sure wherever he is will be terribly worried that I think he's a bit twiddly. Well, on that note, it's been such a joy to have you in.
Thank you for having me. Could talk for hours.
We could, couldn't we? I have to go to the pub now.
Yeah.
Will you come in again and talk to us?
I would love to. Yes, please.
Okay, Cathy Lamb, thank you so much for coming in again and safe journey home.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.